tiny house is actually most recently a woodshed, so it's not very.
Dude, whatever.
It's not very glamorous.
No, whatever.
So
It's
here is where my old house used to sit.
okay. Whoa.
Before they put the dam in, the dam.
Yeah, because you lived here before the dam.
Yes, as did. I'm not sure how many generations. At least a couple.
Mm-hmm.
My maternal side of the family lived up here for a long time. There actually was a Mrs. Nelson to the Nelson Road, whose house still exists at the end of Nelson Road.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool is this?
You know, people say that's not the relationship I have with this story. So
No. How cool is this this day and our connection?
I agree with you.
That's what I was specifically jamming on. I've learned to be more spontaneous with this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, that's interesting. We ran into each other this morning, and you have a really cool story, and this is a really bizarre situation.
Exceptional.
And I had other plans today, but that all got scratched at 9 a.m. So I'm kind of just going with it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the universal intelligence looks like that. You get in that stream, jump in, and just go.
Yeah,
Don't have to work against it.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is a product of that situation.
Sure.
Because I was like, oh, but I got this and I got that. I was like, you know what? I need to talk to Ruby. You know what?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, seriously. There's. I feel like.
My legs aren't as long as yours. So
Oh yeah, sorry.
it's
It's not a coincidence that we ran into each other this morning.
But we have run into each other several times before.
And I don't remember.
Two.
And I don't remember.
No, I said hello and you ignored me.
What?
I know, right?
I am such a jerk.
Yes,
were my headphones in?
I don't. Yes.
My headphones were in. My headphones were in.
Once. Yeah.
Okay, that's because I love humans, and that's probably what happened. Because when I run up and down, my headphones are in. I'm in my own world.
I love humans then. Only you. I get it.
No, it's just I can't hear. I didn't hear you. That's all. If you would have said, I totally, I'm not. Or I was in my own head, busy at work, and that's one thing.
I didn't take it personally.
Okay, good, because I.
It's hard to be insulted by a stranger. So
yeah.
Like, meh, he's busy.
I'm so sorry. So, but look, now we're connecting.
It's timing. It's all
It took a fire. Yeah,
Okay.
big shift. So this is cool.
This is my dad's property.
Okay. Oh, wow, it's a whole family. It's a whole family jive. Whole community here. That's cool.
Well, I have to lock this door. You'll give me just a second.
Oh yeah, for sure. Man, that is a cute little spot. Okay, so what are your needs and wants? Like, we could stay on the road and just go right to where we were this morning and back. Does that sound better?
Yes, that sounds better. My energy is, that's the theme of the conversation, I'm sure. My energy is so focused on all of the events, the fire, and mostly the fire. That's all the fire.
Yeah.
Well,
you inspired me to take a closer look at the fire this morning, and I found an app.
it's a tracker.
It's really good. And apparently we're good.
We're good. However, Clackamas County just exploded. They have a plume of smoke, which means it's now creating its own weather.
Its own what?
Weather. The fire is creating its own weather.
Interesting.
Right?
I didn't know fire could do that.
Very few people have to learn that. That's
What is it? So then what happens?
firestorms, walls of fire. It rains embers, rains ash. It's very ugly.
Wow.
They've pulled all the ground crews off about an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Wow.
Yeah, Clackamas County borders the county that my children live in, so
Okay.
I'm taking a lot of deep breaths.
Okay. So, let's, this is good for you. You are priority one, obviously. You have a lot on your mind and heart.
I do, and I try to always go to that place that I say that I teach from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, all the beings that I hold wise and sacred have certainly gone through, I mean, far more, I'm complaining this morning about chapped lips. They have gone through far more,
Yeah.
far more trying times than this. So, I'm trying to find where the hell did they live in their mind and their heart that they came out of those conflicts that way, because what keeps coming back to me, my teaching is being thrown back in my own face. To love your pain, to love your fear, because they're my teachers. But I don't wanna.
Same, but I feel you.
Wanna.
No, but I agree. Like, yeah, don't resist it, but love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy
and I don't
to
want
say
to either.
that.
And I don't want to either.
Yeah, I
don't
say
want
that all the time. So, oh my God.
This is great. Can I just point out something that I
Please.
think is an actuality? That everyone has an entourage. So
Spiritual.
yeah, angels around us. So
Your team,
yeah. So what's fun about this is, like, your team and my team got together and they're like, hey, these two need to,
totally.
And then our teams are interacting, and
they're probably laughing behind us.
Yeah,
or around, or whatever.
they're probably like,
right.
look what he's doing with that stupid thing. Look at that stupid thing.
I agree with you.
So I just want to acknowledge that and be like, hey, like, that,
I really want to honor that. And
Yeah.
forgive me for interrupting you.
No, don't do.
But, I've been talking to my spirit guides for a long time. It's like, show me that I'm not standing here in the woods alone with my pain and my heartbreak and my questions,
And here we are.
And here we are. So I want to say thank you to all my spirit guides right here. You're like, yeah, they're like, I'm like, whatever.
This makes me so happy. This is exactly what's happening.
Tell me, talk. What do you mean this is exactly what's happening?
What you just said is what's happening. The teams are, there's more for us than against us. And this is an example of
I agree.
More for us than against us. Yeah. I mean, I'm a random dude that is your neighbor, and we met watching, the plane.
A fire plane.
Fire plane.
Yes.
And we engaged, and
yes. Yeah.
Here we are.
And who'd have thunk that we walked down, knowing each other for 10 minutes, we're talking about Brene Brown and Enneagrams. Nobody speaks that in my world unless they, go to work.
Yeah.
Which I just quit.
So again, there's more connections being made than we can see or know. Right. And that we're little scared kids, and we're messy, and there's so much helping us out.
But don't you think that mess, we get in this mindset, even as spiritual beings, that we have to fix our stuff, right? But the stuff and the grit is where the beauty is.
You said that.
No lotus, right?
Yeah, you said that this morning. I resonated with that. You're like, it's not about, like, we're talking about hypocrisy. It's not like trying to get away from it or don't be. It's like embracing that, hey, you know what? I'm awful.
Yeah, and isn't that fantastic?
But I'm also amazing. And as soon as you think you're one or the other, you're missing the mark. Like, it's a empowered humility.
I like that term.
Yeah, I just made it up. Or maybe one of my angels told me.
It's really good.
Empowered humility. That's the first time I've said that.
Empowered
humility. Yeah, like, because you.
It's EH. It's the EH.
Yeah, it's the EH. Because you recognize that you're amazing, but also, you're.
Well, it's that whole.
You're not the end all be all.
No.
You definitely. I'm not.
No. But what that means is we don't have to get it.
Yeah.
We don't have to go anywhere, be anywhere. I was listening to that podcast that you sent me. And one of the million things that caught my attention is how many action words we use in our everyday language, even when we're talking about spirituality.
When you say action words, what are you saying?
Words that infer movement, like going somewhere, or it's like we have to work towards something. We have to grow is another action word, right? But we're already here.
Can't we just be?
Yeah.
Is that what you're...
We would just sit down, right? Because we're already somewhere, right? We're already somewhere. So.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that feels like a micro judgment to me, to use those terms. Like I have to get better. One of the analogies when I was
No, I feel you.
Yeah. I'm already here. I already am.
Yeah. 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 I think this is a fine line.
What do you mean?
It's when you go existential, or when you think through all the details or analyze whatever, it gets to a point where it's like there's not one word, or one word means two different things to two different people.
Oh, of course. Yeah, everyone has their own dictionary.
Yeah, that's where you're splitting hairs, right? So it's kind of like, or I'm splitting hairs, we're splitting hairs, whatever. And that's when it's fun to get out of your head and just relax into, like when you go to a festival, right? Like, you're just like, oh, you get out of your head.
That's so appealing, is to set down everything that doesn't serve you, everything that isn't genuine.
Yeah.
Right? And when you leave those events, don't you feel this sense of grief?
Yes.
As you drive away?
Well, and that's where I get into, I mean, we don't have time to go into my big journey, but I will say, at the end all be all, I from my research, I've gathered so far that out of all the planets in the universe, we happen to be living on the third lowest frequency planet, and so that's helped me like surrender and have grace for the craziness we're in. So it's better.
Thank you. I needed those words right now.
It's better than here. We just happen to be living in the universe in a very low frequency place.
So is this the primer? I mean, is this the pretest? What? This has to matter. This work that we're doing has to matter.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does matter. Everything matters, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's just a okay. So it's interesting that you said the growth thing, because I want to use that term carefully, because I feel your pain on that one too, where it's like, why do I need to be this certain way, or why do I have always? Can't we just hang? And that gets into my thing about, I believe everyone's a celebrity, whether they know it or not. The uniqueness of you makes you a celebrity, and the joy of the world or the joy of this life is to experience your celebrity self, and for you to see mine. For me not to like shove it on you, but like for you to see it genuinely, and for me to see yours. Like, to me, that makes me happy. You know, that's why I do this podcast, Really You Adventures. Right? So with that, there's really no growth. It's just being. The being that you are already is what's awesome about you.
And I appreciate that. I just want to reflect back to you that I appreciate the respect that you have for the people that you're interviewing. I love the questions that you ask. I love that energy that you offer to who. I mean, it's like you said, what did you do? Empowered humility. Yeah. So, and it makes people comfortable. It's very respectful.
Oh yeah, because that's how well, at least I've learned to see people. At least that makes me happy when I get to experience someone as their celebrity self.
So I want to say, when we're talking about growth, something just popped into my head. So growth is a natural byproduct of celebrating who we are.
I love it.
Right? But it's a problem.
I know, right? Does he know something we don't? We should be good. Right? I just checked the graph. We're good. Yeah. Anyway.
But growth shouldn't exactly be a goal, and yet we can expect it. Does that make sense? Because if we get caught in that, I need to be better than I am.
I 100% agree with you.
Then
That's
it's such a distraction.
You just split the hair. You just split the perfect hair. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I love it. That's exactly right. Because it's chasing the carrot that you can never have, and it's embracing where you are and then listening to what's next and being brave, I think, to lean into that, and also patient, and also know that you don't have to, or I don't have to be first place to be a winner or loser or think that I'm doing good enough. The fact that I'm leaning into it is what matters. So listening in the moment and like, okay, this is the next phase of growth. It's not about being better or being to somebody else's expectation. It's about just leaning into the next best offer, which I believe happens every 12th of a second ahead of us being able to embrace it. But that's how often it happens. It's like we're always given the next best thing to do. So like today I was like, the fire and everything, and then I met you and I'm like, oh, and then I'm just like, surrender everything. Yeah. And I just lean and like, hey Ruby, you want to do a podcast? You know, it's and then so listening to the entourage, listening to and the inner guide. It's funny I'm wearing this one, but it's all the things and trusting that we're held in love and leaning into love, not judgment.
And I want to say that as you use that term, leaning into love, something pops into my head. And that is the same way that you would trust something, like a chair. It's that kind of leaning in. I totally trust so much. I know it's not a cognitive process, right?
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Oh, Ruby, that's fun we met today. It's fun we met.
I agree. One of my favorite meditations. I used to teach guided meditations at the treatment center.
Yeah, that was your jam, your mambo jambo.
One of my favorite meditations. And I taught this to people who really were scoffing at the whole idea of meditating, which was my favorite group, actually. Because it always works, and haha. It's true.
Nice, I like it.
You know, they protested, they were eloquent, they were... And I'm like, okay.
All right, we'll try it out.
Be willing to be willing. Can you be willing to be willing?
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Not mine. I don't know where it came from, but I love it.
There you go.
One of my favorite guided meditations I labeled, "The Couch Loves You."
And
of course, I would announce that with a straight face to the group. Will you do this guided meditation?
The couch loves you.
The couch loves you. And they're, of course, sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you are so creepy. Ruby. But it's just this, of course, lesson that you can probably see of how, like I just said, how everything reflects love back to you. Everything. It really does. The couch supports you. It comforts you. You can relax into the couch. It holds you up. Did you walk into the room and worry that the couch wasn't going to hold you?
Yeah. Oh, that's...
No, you trusted the couch. You didn't even think about it. You sat down on the couch, and right now, it is holding you and comforting you. And isn't that love? Does the couch love you?
It's unconditional.
Right?
It's unconditional love.
Absolutely.
Love without condition. Couch doesn't care how much you weigh, what you look like,
exactly,
what you smell like.
Yes.
It just wants to hold you.
Yes. It's reason for
I love it.
existence.
I love it. That's
so
good.
You know, it's like, okay, can we agree that the couch kind of loves you, right? The couch loves you.
That's so good.
So if
so
the
good,
couch...
They probably want to, I don't know, they're doing their thing.
fire.
How you guys doing?
Hi.
Doing good?
You can't even see the lake now or the mountains.
You guys live around here?
Yeah, I live at Stepien.
Cool. I live at Tree to Tree Venture Park.
Oh, okay.
I live on Nelson.
Nelson, yeah. Yeah. Just checking things out. You guys seen the plane catch the water?
Oh, yeah, dude. He was flying literally right above our heads over our house.
Yeah.
It had to have been like 80 feet above us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must have changed pilots because one of them loves to fly low and scare the crap out of everyone, I think.
Yeah. Well,
contained, and I think it started spreading farther. They said something about it. I don't know. I thought they had it 50% under control.
Yeah. When's the last you heard?
An hour ago, they
Really?
said that Hag Lake's fire got a little more, started to take a different direction, I guess.
That's like a...
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast.
Oh, okay.
You guys are on it, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was just kind of
Dude, 10 minutes of fame.
Yeah. It's not famous or anything. It's just my own personal hobby. Okay.
Want to walk part way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a good one, you guys.
You too.
Nice meeting you.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good because the last time we were here, we could see the mountains.
Well, I am planning to go to Newburgh after this, so do you need help with anything?
Not at this moment, and I'll let you know if I do. Will you also let me know if you need anything?
Yeah, for sure.
Including emotional support.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Support.
Seriously, this is a crazy time. Check-in time.
Check in.
Yeah. How much time do you have left? I want to respect your time, your energy.
Oh, I'm
Like-
very zen about my time today, if that's the right word.
Guys, I'm feeling lake and back. Unless you want it shorter than that.
Lake and back is fine.
Does that sound?
That sounds fine. I don't have any timetable, and it feels like the voice of ego to say that. Well, I need to. No.
Well, I need to. I'm so busy. Look at me.
I know, right?
I know that one.
Anyway, I like to go to Sonic and go in a little drive-through thing, so I don't have to talk to people. But I can still get a burger.
Okay, I love it. You're doing you. You're doing you. You're doing you. Yeah.
Well, I don't usually do fast food. That's kind of my limit.
But if it's the end of the world, why not?
You're not helping because I'll be having a milkshake later today and blaming you.
I'm just playing with you. Yeah. Well, yeah, once in a while, my my cousin? He said like, okay, you could do all the right things for your, your fitness and your da-da-da-da-da.
Sure.
And then, but you're still gonna die. So, I mean, eat kale, yeah, but like at some point, like, was the juice worth the squeeze? Like,
Well,
like there is a balance of like enjoying a milkshake,
I would have to ask, how old is she? Because there reaches a point where you're like, okay, I would like to not be achy all day long.
Yeah, the juice worth the squeeze, right?
Because the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah. To not drink the milkshake. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
correct.
I am in long-term recovery from addiction. So I've learned the hard way the value of taking care of my physical form. Because my spirit is housed in that physical form.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
But I've also learned that even more than that, quality of life.
Quality of life.
The way that my body feels is super important. to me.
Yeah.
And the only New Year's resolution I've ever kept was this one. I stopped eating sugar.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, when they say you go through withdrawals, you do.
Yeah, I do.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, sugar's a thing.
Oh, it's a bitch. It's horrible. It is. It's a bitch.
Sugar is a thing.
Sugar's a thing. Well, yeah. American Pediatric Association has listed sugar as an addictive substance for children for several years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's bad. And yet I crave it.
Yeah. Yeah, addiction's a weird thing. And I heard someone say spirituality or that journey is not about more, it's about less. Like,
well, addiction is about more.
there you go.
Addiction is about more and now. Those two things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And recovery is, first of all, it's about honoring that voice and asking about that. We need things. It's okay to need
I like that, honoring that voice.
Truly, if you don't listen to that voice, your chances of recovering from addiction are really slim.
Because you're trying to deny, push away.
Well, you can't just, whatever substance you're addicted to, you can't just take it away. Oh, I'm not addicted anymore. No.
Mm-hmm.
We use because, basically, in my opinion, professionally and personally, we use because of heartbreak.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, heartbreak.
Like with family members,
Doesn't
matter, anyone.
Pain, whether it's emotional or physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of learning from our pain, that shit that I teach all the time,
yeah.
loving our pain, love your pain, it is your teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah.
So then that resonates with the power of the heart.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Of course
Because if heartbreak is
of course it is.
the hardest thing to navigate, then that means there's some power behind that.
Enormous power. And Marianne Williamson has taught for years that our real fear isn't death. Our real fear is our innate power.
Mm-hmm.
So that power of the heart, we feel that in a negative way when we experience heartbreak. I mean, it's a powerful experience. And you want it to stop.
Yeah, and then it guides us to maybe a deeper truth.
Absolutely. So we can sit with that heartbreak and love that heartbreak. I kind of had that experience earlier this week, and maybe it was some sense of pending something.
Mm-hmm.
Of just this negative energy, this really sad energy attached to me, following me around. It's funky, and I even talked to my daughter about it, talked to my friends about it. Mm-hmm. It's like it won't go away. I tried a burger. Mm-hmm. And so what I did differently this time was to welcome it.
Mm.
I gave it a ride into town, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sat with it. And I'll tell you what, it did not get better right away. It felt worse. I felt sadder. I cried more. I was angry more.
Mm-hmm.
And after about at least 24 hours of welcoming that negative energy, whatever that was, something was given to me that I'd forgotten that happened on this very weekend. It's like, wait a minute. There's a little piece of sadness that still needs to be loved. A little bit of grief that needs to be honored. Yeah, it was the loss of a friend a long time ago. And
Gotcha.
I had just forgotten it.
Wow, buried it that deep.
Yeah.
And it was trying to tell you something.
It just kind of, I was literally, I can remember where I was. I was laying on the floor of my cabin on my back with my feet up on the chair, like, kill me now kind of feeling, right? Like, what the hell? Please show me. What I'm welcoming this. Just stop tormenting me. Tell me what's happening.
And it was like you learned to see it in a new light, or it was exposed, and then
well,
in self-compassion, man, that's huge. Like,
it is. It's enormous. And I've had a couple of experiences in my life that turned out to be, and now I'm kind of realizing more as I tell my own story about what's really happening in my life right now. And that is this opportunity to be so compassionate with myself. Talk about needs of the heart, right?
Yeah.
It's compassion. It's self-compassion.
Yep. We are our own worst enemy. Like, yeah, that's so true. Oh, that's so good. I resonate with that big time. Yeah, I get in my own way, and then you could beat yourself up for that, right? And so it's
a vicious loop.
It's a vicious cycle. I'm actually feeling this is a good time to turn around.
Okay.
Are you feeling that too?
Whatever you want to do.
I'm feeling it. Let's get a little leg action. That's good.
Do you want to go back up this way?
We could.
It's
It's actually up to you because that's a longer way, and I know you said.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah. Big time.
feel more up.
Yeah. That's like through the trees and stuff, but it's definitely twice as long.
It's a lot of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's way longer, yeah. This is definitely a shorter route.
We'll have to go slowly because I have short legs.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
So
Thank you for reminding me. Look at you making awareness. Maybe that's what boundaries is. Making yourself aware to those.
Boundaries is a lot of things, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure.
That's a great big term.
I'm learning
A
about
lot of little
boundaries.
pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a 9. Well, I wear the 9 on the Enneagram. And so
I have not pursued I haven't looked in that mirror. I don't know what that is for me.
well, that's awesome you said mirror, because that's exactly the point of it. To help you
I know.
to help you see what you've unconsciously believed about yourself to survive and learn something more.
This is excruciating.
It is. It's not a fun journey.
No.
Is that because like usually personality things like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm so great. This one's like, this is kind of a lie that you've believed about yourself, and it's not your fault. So there's grace, but also you're more than this.
So there's kindness in this process.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, for sure. For sure, kindness. Okay. But that's what I love about it most is like it's unveiling false beliefs.
So how long have you worked with is it enneagrams? What do you call them?
Enneagram.
Enneagrams.
So Enya is 9, gram is diagram, so
geez, okay.
a diagram of 9. And it's an ancient study. It was done by some desert monks a long time ago. And they were noticing human behavior patterns and how to address or point out, or it was just an observational thing. But it's like super ancient, like that's what makes it interesting. And then I guess it lay dormant for a while, and then the Sufis took it, and then
connected to Sufism?
yeah, like the Sufi scholars, and then it lay dormant after that, and then someone pulled it out, and I don't know exactly who, but
so is Sufism connected to Rumi's? Am I remembering that correct?
Well, Rumi is a poet.
No, I know Rumi.
Okay.
But is it, so what are the followers of Rumi's work called?
I think that's Sufi, the twirling dervish.
Yes.
Yeah, the twirling.
I adore Rumi. Oh.
It's funny you say that.
I'm sure it is. Please go.
Because my birth name is Shamsi Debris, which is Rumi's best friend.
You didn't have to tell me.
Okay, so see?
Oh my gosh.
The angels are working.
One of the rare things that I have in my go bag is the Rumi. Works of Rumi. Coleman Barks translations.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Oh my god, it's just glorious.
Yeah.
It kills me.
In a good way, I hope.
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful death.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
Huh.
So here I am on this crazy planet.
Yes, here you are on this crazy planet.
I thought that when I was 5, I'm like, what is this place? What's going on here? And I'm like,
not here.
I've always been very, like, one eyebrow raised, like, what's happening exactly? And that's
skepticism.
It's led me down. Well, yeah, and curious. Like it's led me down some beautiful paths, but I've probably gone too far down some other ones where I get too existential, and then that doesn't serve me or anybody else around me.
Yes.
And my past relationships have helped me point that out, as they do.
I'm talking about that right now.
Okay, we can let that one go. We've all had hurt, yeah.
Totally.
But the big picture, zooming out, that seems to be a pattern in my existence here, and so I'm acknowledging that, and the end all be all, like, if I honestly look at my life, I've been given so much, and those were the best times of my life. And
say more about that. Given what?
Like everything that, like when I was going through this really hard time, it was after kind of a cancer scare and bad relationship and blah blah blah, and I went just fully monk for a bit.
One must.
Yeah, and just journaling, deep reflection, you know, and drew this wave in my journal, and everything in my life that was amazing looking at it, I drew above the wave, or I wrote words what meant those certain connections or experiences, and then everything that was just the worst, I wrote below the wave. And then I was like comparing the two, like, what do these all have in common? What do these all have in common?
Are you familiar with I Ching?
Yeah, the Tao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've worked with the I Ching for about a decade.
Yeah.
Do you work with the I Ching?
I've studied the Tao. Yeah. Yeah. Studied the.
Do you draw the I Ching with the coins and?
I haven't done that. No.
Oh, you need to let me do that for you.
Okay. Cool.
Just
No, for sure. This is a whole new journey. I love it.
Talk about that whole yin and yang experience, right?
Yeah. It was definitely yin yang. And I mean, and I think there's more to it. Then there's Alan Watts, and he gets into the transcending the black and white. So this is where it gets a little silly for me on the existential level, where I can go too far and then lose touch or gain touch. I don't know.
Well, no, I hear you, because a lot of times when I think about this growth process,
Yeah.
like you, the spiritual growth process that I've gone through, it's like a pendulum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, I don't want to call my spiritual process growth oriented, because that is too capitalist for me. But
Yeah, it's been exploited.
I feel like there's a natural place, like any pendulum is slowly going to slow down, and at some point we'll be here in this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, it's this natural process that has its own direction, landing place. So I think of these emotions that would go on, but it's really bad and it's really good. It's really bad and it's really good. What the hell? What is yelling?
No.
I think he's having an existential crisis.
He could be.
Watch.
It could be.
We'll let him have it.
I think he's venting.
Maybe that was a little babbly, but you know what?
No.
The vision that I have in my own head sometimes is that whole pendulum thing.
He's having an argument with God right now.
Is he gone? Is he drunk?
Maybe. That's I think we're supernatural beings in a natural body. And it's good to see the difference. Like, okay. I have natural feelings, emotions, reactive things to keep me alive, but I'm also supernatural.
Yes.
And to put that in context, I think is important.
I agree.
And I think it's important to I've lived in natural reactive animal response.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes that serves me, sometimes it doesn't.
Right, absolutely. Sometimes that's called for.
Yeah. Most of the time,
not so much.
The supernatural is beneficial. More beneficial than not. I'll put that. I like that word, beneficial.
Yes, I like the word helpful. Is it helpful?
Yeah.
Is it helping you?
Yeah. So, and I love how you say love your fear, love your pain, because I've done the whole trip trying to fight my fear, fight my ego, but I'm like, those things aren't really going away. I'm 40 years old. I've learned that those things are just kind of always going to be there. So I'm just going to make friends with them and be like, I'm learning to ask them, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me, ego? What are you trying to tell me, fear?
Well, I don't buy into a lot of Bible philosophy anymore. However, sometimes the story about Jacob, is it Jacob that wrestles the angel?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he wrestles the angel. He dislocates. I mean, he wrestles this angel to such an extent that he dislocates his hip. According to the story, turned out the angel was just trying to give him a blessing. So we wrestle with our blessings.
Yeah.
Because we don't see them for what they are. We see them as threats.
And full disclosure, I think what is great gets exploited.
What do you mean?
Well, like a lot of great wisdoms and things that are super helpful. Certain humans that are really smart but unkind have used that to exploit control.
Sure, that's the Catholic Church.
Well,
was I not supposed to say that?
No. You can say whatever you want. What I'm being careful with is blanket statements, but in my own world, because I know a lot of Catholics that are like awesome, right?
I agree. One of my best friends.
Exactly. So it's like,
but I also see them being manipulated by their faith.
Sure, and I would say, I think there are gems that we could miss out on if we put things into a dualistic, categorized thing, instead of just maybe being more specifically honest with your journey. I think what it comes down to for me is just being really honest about my journey. And so many things are loaded, right? And that's the problem, is like with religion and politics, as soon as you say one thing, it's like, oh, you must be that. You must, then you believe that. And it's like, maybe I don't though. Maybe I don't though.
No, I see what you're saying, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
And wars are fought over that.
Yeah.
It's dividing people into categories.
Yeah. And
that don't really represent the complexity of a human, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Amen to that.
Like,
yeah.
If you label someone Christian, if you label someone Democrat, if you label someone
Republican, Muslim,
if you
whatever,
label, right? If you label, even if you
New
label someone a
Age.
teacher or anything, once you begin to label someone, then you're building, a conflict.
Have you studied Plato?
No, I never could get into it.
That's fine.
The language was too dry for me.
That's fine. Could I share with you
Please.
the allegory of Plato's cave?
Absolutely.
And then after this, I'm going to send you. It's a 10-minute cartoon that's fun, and Orson Welles is the voice.
Okay. I can do fun Play-Doh. Go.
Right? It makes it, and I'm very kinesthetic. I'm a very audio-visual learner, and so I took philosophy in college, and
Nice.
I watched this. He showed this video, and I'm like, oh, got it. Also super profound. Like, it's kind of been this like chapter in my life where like that I'm this and it happened 10 minutes out of hours and hours upon hours of stupid silly college, but at least I got that 10 minutes that I could have just watched on YouTube.
Sometimes you gotta work hard.
Yeah, for just that little. Exactly.
Oh my God, that's funny. But at least you were alert to the right 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure my angels were like turning my head. Watch this. We're going to put you in this. It's going to suck for a bit. Look now. Now's the time. Oh, cartoon. Okay. I like cartoons.
No ego.
No ego.
Cartoon.
Whatever, that's how loving the universe is. It's by any means necessary they get to us,
I learned things from SpongeBob.
I know, right?
I think Patrick is just this profound idiot. He's a savant.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Yeah, no. That's how saturated in love we are. That's what I'm learning.
Oh, I love that.
Is we're so saturated in love that we can't see it. Like a fish trying to find water. Fish can't find water. It's in water. Yeah. We're trying to find love. We're in love.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so it's
you
that.
are love. What are you looking
Yeah.
for?
Yeah. And all the powers that be are like doing everything they can
And
to show us this.
That's what I mean by the pendulum. It's like love is right here, but I keep swinging by it.
Well, and that's the state of this low frequency planet. And that's the struggle. The struggle is real. When people talk about the struggle is real, it's like that's the struggle. It's like and that's my thing is like, okay, we got this is just a point in this planet's evolutionary thing, and it has to get into growth. Mm-hmm. But it's a yes and. I think growth is a yes and. Like a child, right? My son, right? Like I love him as he is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
As he is, without a doubt.
Parenting is the perfect.
Yeah, without a doubt. Also, I want him to grow and expand and flourish, but I'm not judging him if he makes the soccer goal or not.
Yeah.
Right? Or if
Still, my love for you is equal.
Yep.
Yeah. However, I know you will grow, and that's what I want for you.
Yes, correct. I don't want him to sit in a cave playing video games all day, which he's doing right now. But that's fine.
Bring him the cartoon.
That's.
He'll understand.
All right.
Don't be like me.
Well played. Well played, madam. That's funny.
Oh, that was so good.
I love that rabbit trail. We didn't even talk about Plato's cave, but we went somewhere else. It's so good. But it's so true. Like my mambo jambo, or one of many, but definitely highest on the list is my son's well-being. Yeah. And I know he's in his own little world and he does his things, and I think they're silly and whatever, but those matter least to me compared to, does he have food, water, shelter? Yeah. Will he have food, water, shelter? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Mm-hmm. Do whatever, son. Mm-hmm. Like whatever choices you make, it's just as long as you're taken care of. And so if you zoom out in the nature of the universe, if that's the nature of me to my own son, then how much more loving,
I love the analogy of parenting. I've connected with that in so many ways. Thinking that there's this parental energy, if you will, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. That's what angels are. That's what the whole universe is love. Yeah. It's perfect love, agape love. It's unconditional. It's the couch.
It's in total.
It's the
it's the couch.
It's the couch.
The couch loves you. Do you love the couch back?
It doesn't matter.
And if the couch so loves you, does not the floor? And the walls?
Yeah.
And the bus stop?
So that's,
you love the bus stop back?
So to me, that's the freedom. So then you sit in that freedom in the couch, and then from there,
absolutely,
you're free to expand,
right,
and grow.
If I can recognize that the couch loves me, and maybe the carpet too, then maybe there's this trajectory that I've started, right? This glow, if you will.
Yeah.
Because the assignment at the end of that meditation was to find one inanimate object on their way home and tell that inanimate object that you loved it. I love you, stop sign. Right?
I love it. That's so good.
The stop sign loves me, and I love the stop sign.
So good. Oh, yeah. So many things, so many different rabbit trails to go down. Yeah, see, this is what I love about this is it's a catalyst into a frequency of thinking and being where it's like, oh, there's so many possibilities. Yeah. Like we could have literally gone down 5 different routes of conversation versus where I was 2 hours ago. I was like, the thing and the work and what do I do? And then I'm like, you know what? Hey, Ruby, you want to do a podcast? And then now it's like,
yes.
That's what's cool.
Yes, that's
very
much
cool.
What's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
For that. For honoring that voice, because you could have,
right? Yeah.
I could be eating a burger and missing all of this real nourishment.
Yeah, and it comes through genuine connection, relationship, and so many different ways to go down. But there's process theology I want to talk about. There's Plato's cave I want to talk about.
Yeah,
I want
to talk about religion.
Religion.
I want to talk about religion and politics because we're not supposed to.
I love it. I love it.
Let's create a list of things we are not supposed to talk about. We have a banned books list. We'll have a banned topics list.
Yeah.
Check them off one at a time.
Yeah. Like, for example, I love Jesus, but I don't feel like I can talk about Jesus because it's such a loaded thing, and everyone gets all these. They think, oh, well, then you must be this and you must be that. And I'm like, no.
This right here is a Baptist preacher's kid.
Okay, so yeah.
You want to talk Jesus? Bring it.
Yeah, and I don't, and that's, but do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
I have my own personal journey with Jesus, and it has, and then it's hard to talk about because other people are like, oh, you're trying to convert me, and then, oh, you think if you don't believe in Jesus, you go to hell. I'm like, no, I don't. That's not, and so it's all been, in my mind, exploited, and then it's hard to find that.
There really isn't a safe place.
Yeah.
In general.
For anything.
Jesus,
yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, I can't talk about how my relationship with Spirit has evolved with my dad. Because he's pretty sure I'm going to burn in hell.
Yeah, see.
Which I don't
Yeah.
believe in.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I have a theory about Jesus because I started asking him who he was.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not going to tell you now.
Oh, I would. You can't leave that cliffhanger.
I actually can.
Okay, you can do what you want, but that's now I'm really intrigued.
But you want to know? I feel myself protecting that right now.
Okay, and I honor that.
Yeah.
I totally
Thank
honor
you.
that for sure.
Well,
You're making a boundary. I'm just know I'm curious, and I think you're super great, and I
I'd love to share that with you when there's a different space.
whenever you want to share that. I love it. Yeah, because I have my story too. So I just love when it can feel safe to
my folks
generally share. Oh yeah. When have you heard of off record? Have you heard of the Rancho book?
Yes, I actually have it. It's really, really strange. I never could completely get into it.
Okay.
So. Hello, Papa. Hello, Mommy. Yeah, we don't need to talk to you. We already know you.
Yeah, that could be. I'll tell you my journey with that, and
yeah, because I could not connect with it.
a lot of people can and can't.
I had it recommended to me by a woman that I met at 11. Like, ooh, okay, you're cool. I'll read the book.
Yeah. There's a lot of trigger words.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot.
Words.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, I've wrestled, like we said, the wrestling is the theme. I've wrestled with all aspects of anything trying to tell me this is what is.
Oh my God, I'm such
Right.
an ego-driven brat. You're gonna have to ask me because it's true.
Oh, I probably won too. I don't even know it.
Well, I have been super humbled lately. It's interesting that you bring that word up because I moved away from here. I went to school.
Yeah.
You know, I built a reputation as a clinician. I did fucking awesome work. I loved my job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved back here 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got here, my 15-year-old self was waiting for me, and she was pissed. And she's still pissed.
Oh, interesting.
And so welcoming the story that she needed to tell has been a trip. My oldest daughter was like, Mom, you're acting like a 15-year-old brat. What the fuck is going on with you? Like, really?
Oh. So I'm getting involved with equine therapy.
I heard that. Have you gone horseback riding yet? Have you done it
I've
yet?
been, it's not horseback riding. It's being with the horses in the arena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm going through the training.
You started?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's amazing.
Why do you bring that up when I talk about my 15-year-old self?
Because when I was with the horses, it brought up parts of myself that I had to look at. Or I don't like the word had, but
Whatever, you looked at.
Yeah.
You were invited to look at.
Yeah. And just knowing your energy so far, I feel like you would love it. You'd love to be. It's terrifying, but it's also awesome to be in the arena with the horses.
You're embracing your fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and things you don't know. You're embracing things about yourself that you don't even know. You're going into the unconscious too, because the horses see stuff in you that you don't even.
Sounds like ayahuasca.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really powerful. Yeah. So if you're curious,
I'm curious.
I'm
curious about everything.
the network
Okay.
to get involved with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I want you to meet my friend Chad, who's a rooster that lives there.
Oh.
And he loves to be held, and he's a little surfer dude, Chad, bruh. And he's blonde. He's totally blonde. And you're gonna love Chad. Chad's my favorite.
Beach Boy?
Yeah.
These Beach Boy songs just pop into my head.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so funny because I just bought, one of my therapies is going to the Goodwill store and buying a new coffee mug.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to connect with it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make any sense to anybody else, but I have to connect with a coffee mug, right?
Mm-hmm.
The coffee mug I just brought home has a rooster on it. Right?
It's happening.
It's happening.
I'm gonna take you to the farm. Ruby, you're awesome.
Thank you, and you. I appreciate you.
This has been cool. I'm glad.